I am Mohammed Al Khatib, Consumer Packaged Goods Segment Director for Middle East and Africa. For those of you which doesn't know what consumer packaged goods industry means to Schneider, it consists of food and bev industry, life science industry, household and personal care industry. My pleasure to introduce today our speaker, Dr. Thomas van der Leg, Head of Dairy Beverage at ProLeiT. What I would like to do is to cover the agenda for the innovation talk, brief introduction for new acquisition, who is ProLeiT, the value add brings to you, what is the CPG market trends and the challenges, global system partners and OEM partnership. We'll share as well some kind of project references for ProLeiT. Then we'll hand over to Dr. Thomas, who will deep dive for ProLeiT solution. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We will bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have a time for Q&A at the end of the innovation talk by Axel. Presentation documents and on-demand session will be shared by email to all participants today. We are very proud to be growing. We reached 27 billion revenue while continuing our strong commitment to innovation. We operate with 135,000 employees globally. As you can see, that 5% of our revenue is going mainly for R&D to keep the innovation at every level, at everywhere. As well, we have a balanced global presence from North America, Western Europe, Asia Pacific, and rest of the world. This coming from the main end market, which is mainly building, data center, industry, and infrastructure. Moving to our main topic for our innovation talk today, who is ProLeiT? ProLeiT is a German company started 1986 by Wolfgang Ebster and Manfred Scheppel, since August 2020 becoming part of Schneider Electric family as a full acquisition at that time. As you can see that 15 locations globally, and they have 5 locations in Germany, and out of Germany they have 10 locations, an international location in Bulgaria, Brazil, China, Mexico, Netherlands, Russia, Spain, Ukraine, and US. They have a huge install base for plant IT installation, which is mainly the software and the solution for food and bev and life science, and more than 850 brewmaxx installation globally, mainly for brewery industry, covering more than 110 countries worldwide. This is supported by strong expertise, more than 600 employees working on engineering, sales, and execution and projects team. As you can see, the revenue, it is more than 50 million euro overall for 2020. This cannot be achieved, this success, without a strong partner like OEM and system integrator like KHS, GEA, SIG. I am sure that you are more familiar about all these big names for OEMs, which I believe that more or less you have some kind of machine line is coming from those OEM. Moving ahead for the market focus, strengths usually derive from focus on target market, industry, and diversity. ProLeiT have 25% market share global from brewery industry, supported by strong engineering team, achieve project KPIs, and maintain credibility for ProLeiT solution. During coming slides, we'll share key projects references which successfully executed from ProLeiT, dairy, pharma, grain, household, and personal care. So what is the capability of ProLeiT solution? As you can see, we all know that the process manufacturing have very extensive technical requirement, needs sophisticated and integrated processing and automation software. required deep field engineering knowledge for operational intelligence. Now coming to how ProLeiT adding value to CPG customers across the whole supply chain. 30 years back, when ProLeiT founders had a vision for plug-and-play automation systems, or what we call it, ProLeiT object-oriented process control system, has been predefined classes of requirements and the process for parameterization instead of writing codes, tested, validated with different PLC suppliers, not only Schneider. So as you can see from the left side, the offer is mainly consists of PCS, which is a process control system, object-oriented, integrated with MES for track and trace dashboard and visual analytics. Supported by very strong application and their focus on food and bev, brewery industry, chemical, household and personal care, supported by very strong engineering team to do the engineering, process control and monitoring, batch, cockpit, and line performance or line management solution. Add to energy management, which is the key strength of Schneider as well to integrate with ProLeiT. From ProLeiT, they have two solution portfolio, Billy. One for mainly for food and bev, pharmaceutical and chemistry, which is the plant IT, which is an automation platform and process control system. The second one, which is brewmaxx, which is a leading automation for the brewery industry globally. As we said, that almost more than 25% they are owning this as a market share globally. The future of the CPG, there is a lot of challenge before we talk about the future. So most of us, we have a lot of challenges recently during the current circumstances for the COVID-19. We know that we will have more than 5.8 billion connected points. But we know that everything will be connected and it is accelerating. The main challenge, more than 94%, it is their challenge for mainly supply chain. If they have an issue with the provider or distributor, they need agility and resilience to transfer the production and knowledge from one plant to another, from one production line to another. So how the next generation consumer packaged goods industry will be? What we can see is that it has to be first, efficient, resilient, sustainable, and people-focused. Second, from shop floor to the decision level, from the edge to the corporate, from the supplier to the distribution. Future industry need full visibility and transparency of their operation. Next generation of open and agnostic software will enable unprecedented cohesion for automation performance through an open ecosystem for fast-moving innovators. Together, we could achieve more than or up to 40% flexibility increase at your manufacturing facility, up to 20% in energy cost becoming more sustainable, more green, up to 99% data collection and time reduction. So the main question, it will come to your mind now, how Schneider can help you and help their customer partner to do that. That's why Schneider, we came up with EcoStruxure food and bev. So Schneider Electric responded to the food and bev market challenges. EcoStruxure for food and bev, our digital architecture and platform that allow to monitor, control, and optimize the operation from farm to fork. EcoStruxure for food and bev integrates different domains of expertise, starting from building, power, data center, machines, plant, and grid, into a solution that transforms the information collected from anywhere in the food and bev value chain, what we call it from the farm to fork or from the farm to distribution, into an actionable wisdom to be transparent, and optimized end-to-end operation. We created a global leader in industrial automation. We are leading the global provider for industrial software and services for operational efficiency and asset availability and reliability. We do believe Schneider EcoStruxure platform will bring more added value to our customers. ProLeiT as well will become an integral part layer between the connected layer and apps and analytics services. With ProLeiT and Aviva, we can deliver next generation of software-based automation that is scalable, open, and easy to design and engineer with less risk to project schedule and capex cost. One EcoStruxure architecture, as you can see, serving end-to-end CPG value chain, from the farm till the distribution, from the connected product to the edge control to apps and analytics. ProLeiT does and will continue to support main three hardware. And this is very important message from ProLeiT and from Schneider as well, that ProLeiT has been working before with another brands for PLC and a different kind of PLC and the hardware. They will continue to support this, but will also fully integrate with the EcoStruxure automation expert. And the IEC 61499 approach, it will bring to become complete hardware agnostic. Aviva, which is, you can see on the top layer here for apps and analytics, the leading global provider of engineering, design, and information management software. It is owned 60% by Schneider Electric and combines hardware agnostic software offering from former Aviva and Schneider Electric. So how ProLeiT Schneider can execute and can go forward? Just to give you a little bit brief that there is no company or single company worldwide can work alone. You need a strong partnership with OEMs, with system integrator, with system partners, and end user as well. ProLeiT have very strong partnership with the world-class CPG industry OEM. As you can see, there is a lot of big names which they are certified from ProLeiT to work with and to execute the project for the automation and PLC, MES, and software. So majority of this, yeah, I believe that you have as well in your machines line for some of you. This is extended to a long list of the global and regional OEM in a different industry, showing ProLeiT execution capability and software openness for different hardware manufacturers. Last but not least, system partners, or what we call system integrator. As you can see, there is a list of certified system integrator working with ProLeiT. This is a very successful system integrator one-to-one partnership. As you can see, ProLeiT focus was more at Europe, US before, and in Asia Pacific. After Schneider acquisition, and thanks to the team will be supporting to extend the market coverage, in particular for Middle East and Africa, we are talking today, becoming strategic to grow with the new partner, system integrator. Would be our pleasure to help you grow your business through ProLeiT in the future. I'm really happy to share with you some of the key references for ProLeiT, over than 2,000 production line, some of them completed successfully in more than 110 countries worldwide, from brewery, dairy, chemistry, food and bev, pharma industry, and more to come with the Schneider Electric and your support as well. Now, to stay connected with us, and if you need any further details about Schneider solution, please open your mobile and scan the QR code in front of you right now. You can see it in the here. So if you can scan, it will open a link for you. Thanks to Phil, and we will reach to you soon for more details, for more discussion with you. QR code as well, the link will be shared in the chat box during the session, so you can access on it, you can click on it, and you can access to see what is your feedback and how we can support you. Stay with us to know more about ProLeiT solution. Now, without further ado, we'll turn the time over to Dr. Thomas, our presenter today. Dr. Thomas, floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes, hello. First of all, also a thanks to Mohamed for this very, very kind introduction about ProLeiT, and also a thanks to Axel at the Q&A. Maybe I will now share my screen, so you have then the possibility also to see what I'm explaining to you. I hope you can see now my screen. It's now available for you. And I can now give you more details about what Mohamed already have introduced to do. Maybe let's start. A warm welcome from my side. My name is Thomas Wunderlich, and I'm the head of beverages and dairies here at ProLeiT. I'm at ProLeiT since 20 years now in different responsibilities. But now I'm focused on sales, and I'm also the main contact for Schneider Electric and the colleagues there. Yeah, let's start. And I would start with some pain points, because I expect every one of you is very used with plants, with automation, and all these activities around. And sometimes you have really some pain points. And I can tell you, when I said unconnected islands of automation, that's something you also know, because if you expand your plant or you have some new activities on the plant, you buy some hardware, and with the hardware, you also receive a part of software, automation software. So this new part of the plant can run, but sometimes it's not really linked to the rest of your plant. And so by growing your plant, you get an island, a lot of islands together, and that's sometimes not very inefficient. And yeah, and another point is very close to it. There are no standards, because it's coming from different suppliers and from different people who does the automation. And so you have at the end, no standards, islands. And if you want to modify something, it's also very complicated, because it's complex. You have these different islands, different kinds of programming. So it's also a pain point. Then with these hardware and the software, you also receive some new servers, new software. So at the end, you have a slew of different hardware on IT side, servers and software. That leads to high cost of ownership. It's not very robust, and sometimes you get this, and it's not very well defined, because there is no process know-how in it. So yeah, all these pain points, I think you know them already. And today, in my speech, I will give you some ideas by some examples from the Middle East, where we had some solutions on to cope with these pain points. And yeah, I will talk today about paperless production. That's one of these examples. Traceability, and how we bring domain branch knowledge into our solutions. Also about support, seamless integration, and how our system is scalable and very flexible from its architecture side. Yeah, so let's start with the first example. It's about paperless production. It's an example from Saudi Arabia. I think Almarai is very well known there as a dairy, and this dairy is here a specific one, or it's part of the Almarai group. It's the plant for baby food, infant formula. We had here the activity to solve the issue of paperless production, a fully integration of SAP, and also a very nice idea not to do the manual weighing by paper. Yeah, it's also part of paperless production to do the manual weighing automatically without any paper. And last but not least, also the reporting was very important there. How this plant looked like, only to give you a short overview, we had there 5 PLCs, and from the automation perspective, we had round about 3,100 objects. An object mean a motor, a valve, a pump, a binary input or output. So it's quite a big dairy installation. We did this based on our plant batch IT solution, and we had specific add-ons, as I said already, for the manual weighing. We had the manual weighing module, and for the integration to SAP, we had our Plant IT Connect to interface to SAP, and we have also had some specific batch tracking reports in place there. Let's start first with the fully integrated SAP interface. This interface, I think it's a very helpful tool to use to interface with SAP. As you think about, you want to exchange data with SAP, and as I know, a lot of integrators use such an interface direct and program it directly, and we had in our mind the idea to split up the communication and the task of the communication and the content. So we could standardize much more deeper our solution. Yeah, so we had there the possibility to set up communication channels. These communication channels are the technology, how to interface, and on which standard you interface. You have, for example, an IDOC or a BAPI, and for each of IDOC or BAPI, you have an own channel. And then within the channel, you can parametricize the content which is flowing through this channel. And in parallel, it's also very important to have an overview if the data exchange was running quite well, or if there is an hiccup. And here you can see it's an overview picture where you can see the interface to the user. If it's green, everything worked quite well. And if it's red, you see, okay, there was a hiccup, and you can jump in there directly, click on this line, and then you see directly the information which were tried to flow in between the two systems, and you also get an error code. Yeah, so you have directly a knowledge where was the problem and if the data were transferred or not. So at the end, this module standardizes the interface. You have a clear and continuous monitoring and diagnostics, and you have also a communication interface without any paper or something where you have to write on. You can see directly online what happened. And in the same direction is also our manual weighing module. Yeah. With this manual weighing module, the idea behind is that you have at the end some small scales. On these small scales, you weigh out small parts of a recipe, and you do this manually besides the automated process. Normally, your user will get a paper. On this paper is written the amounts and the materials, and then he is doing the manual weighing besides the process and write down on his paper the real amounts. And at the end, you have to transfer this information via paper to another system, to the PCS system, to SAP, whatever. But everything is done manually. And as you know, manual working causes errors. So that's why we decided to have an automated module, software module, and for that, thus we have developed our manual weighing module. And as you can see on the manual weighing module, you see in the middle the green bar. This with the green bar, it's quite like a scale. You go to directly putting material on the scale, and you go step by step to the set point. You have some ranges in between where the weighing should be okay. But on the left-hand side, you saw directly your bill of material, which materials has to be dosed. And on the right-hand side, you saw the material, and below there is an information: start, material check, TARA, weighing, and end. These are the weighing processes and can be parametricized as well. So you are also not bound to a direct weighing process. You are also able to be more flexible and define by parametrization how to do the weighing. And also below, here is not an example in it, sorry. You also can show safety phrases to your user, which means it's a powder you have to dose, and you have to wear, for example, a specific mask to prevent any dangers. So at the end, you can work with safety regulations and bill of materials, and the paperwork is already done because all the actions are done automatically, and the weighing information are then also available in the system and can go directly into the automation solution for the next step, and can be also reported via the ERP interface directly to SAP, for example. So these two examples are showing directly how to avoid errors on the manual level, and also to bring data directly into a digitized way, and to exchange them with ERP, for example. So the next example is coming from the beverage. It's a beverage example. It's also from the Middle East, and it's more in the direction of traceability. Here I have chosen an example from Johanna. I think Johanna in Egypt is also very well known. Here it was a new plant, a fruit juice and carbonated beverage plant. And as you can understand, this plant was more batch oriented in the syrup room. And we also had here a fully automated solution. And the size of the project was a little bit smaller than the previous one. We had here 2 PLCs, round about 1,500 automation objects. The system was also the plant budget because of the syrup room. And we also had here some special modules in place. It was the batch mixer and a scanner solution. And it was also very important here for the track and trace to have the material intake also via the plant IT ProLeiT solution, because we want to link the material intake directly to the material flow through the whole plant until the finished good. So we have a complete track and trace solution within the plant and can report on it. So first of all, let's go to the syrup room. It's, as I already stated, it's a batch-oriented syrup room. And this batch-oriented syrup room, as you can see, you have sugar, you have container, some other ingredients, and all these ingredients will be transferred to a batch tank, and in this batch tank they will mix to each other, and then they will be there will be also some water to add it, and then you have and you also add some carbonated, so at the end you have a carbonated drink. And what's unique here, first of all, ProLeiT has a lot of background knowledge of branches and domain expertise, and based on this domain expertise we set up a standard syrup room. Yeah, it's pre-configured, so, and also with some knowledge of the branch in it. And we, as you have seen, we know, for example, Indag, Döhler, and we adapted their syrup rooms, and out of them we created these standard syrup room. What's also unique here is, in our system we have already included material movements, because that's very good to have. You're not only open a valve and then sugar is running or water is flowing. Yeah. So here you have a clear material view. Where is your material in the plant? How much of the material is in the plant? And when you dose the material to a specific batch, then you have a clear booking behind that then this material was booked for this specific batch and was used in this specific batch. So you know directly something about your stock, if this material is still there or not. You have a track and trace information because you know where the material was used. And you can have also a route management is also included in the syrup room. If a specific material has to be dosed, then the system knows the stock, as the system knows where the material, in which tank the material is, and the system also know where the material is needed. And that means the system can choose a route from the tank to the place where this material has to be dosed. So there is a lot of information or expertise already in, which has not to be programmed at the beginning because it's there. That's meant with standardized, and libraries for syrup rooms are there. A route control is also there, and it's a load management because we know at the end where the materials are coming from and where they has to be used. And at the end, we have a traceability because of the material bookings. So at the end, no material transfer will get lost. We avoid a lot of risks because in the programming by using standards and libraries, and we have these good traceability. And as I already said, there is a material management behind. And as you can see on the left-hand side, there is an overview about the stock in our material management. Looks quite overwhelming at the beginning because there are a lot of resources there, tanks and sip tanks and warehouses. But if you click on one of these tanks, you can directly see what's in the tank and what kind of batches are in the tank. And you can see from the container, when you click on this container, you see directly below where the material from this container was used. You can see, okay, this container, container 1, was used in several batches. So you have a clear overview regarding track and trace. So at the end, that's the base for the track and trace solution. That's the base also for the route management. And that's also the base that no material transfer will get lost. And another really good thing is if you have all the bookings already in your PCS system or on your PCS layer, then it's much easier to report these information in the direction of ERP SAP. So here the loop closes itself. Yeah, you started with an interface to SAP, and with the batch solution with a standardized syrup room, you can directly report out of the PCS layer into the direction of ERP SAP. So these were the examples from the Middle East, but I also will give you also an overview about our biggest solutions here in Europe. I will talk about, I think, one of the biggest dairies here in Europe. It's more or less not only one plant, it's more or less a plant in a plant with a lot of different areas where different products were produced. As I will introduce to you the Müller Milk or Sachsen Milk plant. It's part of the Müller Milk group here in Germany. Müller Milk is very well known here in Germany, in Europe, and their biggest plant is in the eastern part of Germany, in close to Dresden. And here a lot of milk will be processed every day. And as you can see, there are different products. There are fresh products, there are cheese products, and there is also some dried products like milk powder and so on. More or less everything which is possible to produce out of milk will be produced in this plant. And as you can see, we have also the control over the wastewater area. That means Müller Milk try to put out as much as possible out of the milk. So at the end, the process water can be also used to flush the pipes, and only at the end it will go to the wastewater, because everything here is really finely integrated to each other. The information flow through the whole plant, and because of this awareness of the people, it's possible to put as much components out of the incoming milk. So to give you an overview, some figures behind, as you can see, 32,000 valves, it's a huge amount, a lot of analog measurements, frequency converters, drives. It's really quite huge, but I think on the right-hand side, that's the amazing point. You only have 2 production servers and a specific backup for them, but everything is running more or less on one ProLeiT system. And the system can cope with more than 150, with a lot of PLCs, I think more than 150 PLCs, yeah, a lot of process images, a lot of sequences, and so on. Yeah, and if you have a look at the systems which we used here and which are in place, it's our Aquis Direct Liquid. That's the basic package for automation. We have also material in place, an SAP interface, yeah, and for the fruit cooking also a batch. And that's why it's also batch and liquid together. It's clear because to have the right technology at the place where it's needed. And here an overview which products are produced, as I already said, a lot of information, fresh milk, cheese, butter, and also some dry parts. And last but not least, a short overview about our dairy references here in Europe. And as you can see, we are very, with our partners, we are more or less in the top 10 here in Germany as well as in Europe. And that's something we are really proud of. And I think we will share our branch expertise with you. And I hope that makes you a little bit interested in and what's possible with ProLeiT. So from my side, thank you for your attention. And I'm really looking forward to get in touch, and feel free to ask your questions to Axel on the Q&A. So thanks from my side, and I will now stop sharing and give back to Mohammed. Thanks.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Axel, maybe if you want to put a question from our attendance today.
Sorry, Mohammed, I didn't get this one.
Yeah, please. For the Q&A.
Please feel free. I tried to already answer a lot of the questions in the chat, so I hope I could help. But of course, I'm very open for additional questions over here. Just open your microphone and ask, or type it into the chat, and we can answer, of course, every question. So I think one question that I have seen that I haven't answered yet was around how to start with something like this. Yeah. So if you're interested in starting, let's say, a small project or something like this, is this possible? And the answer is yes. I think it's very easily possible, because actually the good thing with ProLeiT is, and we have discussed it here, that you can start nearly on every of the dominant automation platforms that are typically present in the food and beverage industry, and also that there is no real limit of size of the application. So you can start very small. If you think, for example, about a CIP skid or something like this, where you say, hey, I want to try out if this is a process control system that fulfills requirements that I have, and my CIP is a kind of information island at the moment, so the right thing to start with. There's absolutely no problem to start with such an application, and afterwards to grow this even to the full site, because the ProLeiT solution comes with a very flexible licensing model that allows to have very small skids that you can automate. But as you have seen, it can grow to very huge sites, as the examples of Thomas have shown, and this absolutely without any limitation or any loss of the engineering that you have put in. So the system can really grow together with the needs of you as a customer, and it can grow without that you need to re-engineer what you have done on a small skid. You can easily integrate it into an overall bigger picture. So I see other questions here on the chat. Let me please check. Why we have a lot of add-ons in ProLeiT? Do you not think there is a lot of softwares in it? So actually, there is not a lot of add-ons in ProLeiT. I would say it's a modular approach, but it's based all on the same system. And this is what is really a big value of the ProLeiT system. So we are talking here about a fully integrated system, So this means when we are looking, for example, for the normal process control system that is controlling, I don't know, we have seen here some dairies, pasteurizers, homogenizers, etc. You move then over with your products, dairy products, into the packaging line, and you want to have a line management system, and you take this module of line management or other advanced MES functionality, material management, you do the interfacing to SAP. These are all modules, but they are all working in the same system. So there's only one database behind the system, there's only one server, and there's only one system that you can extend due to the needs, because not everybody needs the full-blown solution, but absolutely not limited in any, let's say, capabilities. So this is something that is really interesting. The modular approach is really here to fulfill customer needs. And it doesn't mean that you need to buy 5 different servers with 5 different softwares. It's coming all on the same server. You have an end-to-end solution in your site, from raw material intake to packaged solution on one server. And yeah, that's the solution that ProLeiT is offering over here in a modular but not disconnected way. I see another question here. Is it also possible to use web services for integration with SAP or its own modules such as Fiori? I'm not quite sure if I understand this question correctly. Thomas, possibly you have an idea about this one. So I don't know the system Fiori, I have to say.
I think Fiori does also not mean so much to me. I don't know. But it's not in only
in general,
for us. It's not only SAP which we can interface to ERP. We also have here others like Felix and from smaller suppliers. So there are a lot of other possibilities. I think important is that we have standardized on these kind of channels. So we have then the possibility to exchange one channel to another, and then we are able to communicate also to other systems.
Exactly, and I think that's what one of the modules is, which is called Planted Connect. Yeah, which means there is a kind of service where you can where ProLeit's teams are also used to connect different types of systems, especially ERP systems, but also other systems. And let's say if we have the requirements, we can definitely discuss this and find surely a solution. Okay, next question. Which software can do the same functions and compete with ProLeiT? That's a very good question. So obviously I would say there is not the 100% same solution as ProLeiT, what makes it unique in the market. I think we are positioning here clearly as an alternative to, let's say, standard DCS systems like let's say hybrid DCS systems like PCS7 or Rockwell Plant PAX, but with much more functionality. So the whole recipe handling, batch management, integrated material management, this is normally what is falling short in the competitors' solutions. So actually, if you want to build this, you need in these other solutions you need to select different products that you combine, but not in such an integrated way. Of course, you can select products and you can combine them. But as I said before, with ProLeiT, this is coming all in a fully integrated way. So even if you are starting, for example, with a process control system that is just doing the process control, the whole system is object oriented and the objects are designed in a way that they are already collecting information also for MES functionality. So this means normally if you would create or buy or let a system integrator implement a normal control system for example, for a mixer or another process that is possibly in a bakery or in another process area, then these guys would make the mixer run in a perfect way. And that's what ProLeiT is doing. But ProLeiT at the same time is also collecting all the information that would be relevant if you want to extend in the future also to MES. So the structures are all already there. So the future integration of additional modules is very easy because it's coming all out of the same system with one server. So I hope I could explain here a little bit the differentiation to some of our, let's say, peers in the market. Next question. That's not a question. ProLeiT expertise is more on the software side, correct? And a company client during process automation, right? So yes, both. So I would say the ProLeiT expertise, it's a very interesting thing. So the ProLeiT system has grown over the last 34 years. And obviously the expertise of the people working in this company has strongly influenced the development of the solution. So there's a lot of knowledge coded into the system, coded into the libraries, but it's not limited to this. Yeah. So at ProLeiT, we have more than 70 experts from the industry, food technologists, process technologists, etc., that are working in ProLeit's departments, and they're working on R&D. So they helped to bring this expertise into the solution, but they are also working in sales and pre-sales support to discuss with you as a customer to understand what is really the need that you have, and not to just try to use their system and push it to you, but more to understand what is the need, how can we address such a need. And then obviously in the delivery teams of ProLeiT that are very strong, there's also a lot of these domain experts who are used to work in a food and beverage company and or consumer packaged goods company, and who are used to implement projects over there. So this domain expertise is, on the one hand, they are already present in the product, but it's not stopping with this, because using the product in the right way is also one of the keys to success, of course, to make it best suitable for you. And for this, we have the experts also in delivery teams, in sales, and of course, feeding back into the R&D if ever there are discovered some needs of our customers that we couldn't address with our current solution. So we have the possibility to adjust this. So next question. What database is used in ProLeiT? So ProLeiT is based on a SQL database, so on a SQL server, and it's their own developed database structure, which hosts the let's say the model, the equipment model, the logical model, etc. And it's an embedded SQL server that comes with the system. Next question. Do you have demo application to present? Yes, absolutely. So this is a standard way how we would further engage with you. If you're interested to learn more about the system, there is a demo system that is running, that is fully operational. Because why is it fully operational? It's also an interesting point for you. So the ProLeiT libraries and the objects, they are all coming with a rich simulation mode. So you can simulate all the equipment, and like this, of course, we are able to show you very nice demos, because we can just put a real system into demo mode and demo the real system. But it has also advantages, of course, for you as a customer. If you want to, for example, extend the part in the site, etc., you can fully run this in demo before, and then just let's say just make it real while leaving the demo mode and running it yes, in reality, which means you can train your operators, you can check and try out things where you're not sure if this is the right way of sequencing, etc. So all this is fully demoable. So you could say ProLeiT has a full digital twin enabled in their system for the system that you design, and that makes it very easy for us also, of course, to show you such a demo, which is very close to reality. Without that, there is a need of additional demo code development or something like this. Yeah, it's coming naturally with the system. Then I have another question. Is it cloud-based system or edge computing? So at the moment, the ProLeiT control system is running on a server on the edge. So there is not a cloud version of the system. But we are, of course, as Schneider Electric, with our portfolio, able to provide you a cloud environment as well. So if you are looking for execution of workflows in the cloud, or if you're looking of displaying information like dashboards, information from the process, also in the cloud, doing the, let's say, data analytics in the cloud, we are having a connection to our Aviva Connect portfolio, where we have, for example, Aviva Insight, that is allowing you to do exactly this. And we are just simply moving the information from the ProLeiT system into this cloud to use this very powerful cloud systems that we have in our portfolio in a very easy way. Next question: what type of reports are in ProLeiT, static or dynamic? I would say both. Yeah. So typically you like to see static reports for a certain batch that has happened, but there's of course also the possibility to have a certain amount of dynamic reports. It depends very much what you are looking for. I would say let's say we would need to see more details about what exact requirements do you have for reporting. But in general, the reports of ProLeiT are very easy to create on your own and are very flexible. So I'm confident that we can address all the needs for static and dynamic reports that you're looking for. Next question. Not sure if I understood the question correctly. I see here the question is industry services connected together and to the production. If I understand this right, it's a little bit what services are provided with the system. So the services that are provided with the system are very very strong as well. So ProLeiT can even remote monitor your entire system and see with a secure remote connection what is happening in your system, and the engineers are available 24/7 to support you. So if ever there is an issue on site that is happening that you cannot solve on your own, you can rely on the round the clock support from ProLeiT. In the service portfolio, you have different service level agreements that you can agree on with the customer. They would also include now cybersecurity services, for example, to make a cybersecurity check of your installations. They also include different ways of updates, standard support, let's say, that you are used to from different systems. But as I said, even also this remote monitoring. What is important is also that ProLeiT provides you a lot of tools that you can do a lot of the analysis yourself. Yeah. So one good example is ProLeiT has a module that is called the Viso recorder, which is actually recording what is happening in your system, and it allows your operators and supervisors to do a playback of what has happened, to do a fault analysis and to really see on the HMI what has happened, who has pushed, for example, manually a button or opened manually a valve or something like this, which is very powerful. And of course, also the service team can support in such a fault analysis, let's say, to show you how to best do this. Is this software working good with MES systems? Yes, this is a clear yes. So the software, as you have seen or might have gathered in the discussion up to now, is already having some MES functionality built in. But it's not limited over there. Yeah, so there is, I would say, it's not the 100% full-blown MES that everybody wants to go for. Yeah, but it has a lot of the MES functionality that a system that a food and beverage company or CPG company is needing. Anyway, if you decide not to take the MES functionality from the system, but you have already standardized on, for example, our Aviva model-based MES, the ProLeiT system is a perfect foundation for this, because ProLeiT, as I said before, is coming with with objects on the automation layer that are already preparing all the information for MES. And this is where normally MES gets complicated, or where MES projects are getting expensive, because you need to get from the level 2 systems, from the control systems, the right information for your MES. Once you have the right information in the MES, typically all MES solutions are allowing you to do quite good things with it, and it is quite straightforward to model and to do the things. But to have really the security that you have the right information at the right time, this is a big challenge. And with the ProLeiT system below, you have the security, because the system is prepared to supply information for MES functions. So we know exactly where the information is lying. We have the right timestamp behind. We can report consumptions, productions, etc., everything what is necessary. And like this, it is standalone with MES, but also a good foundation for MES. Possibly a last question, because I see time is running out. Do you have a representative here in Saudi Arabia? Schneider Electric is, of course, having a huge office, or you have huge offices. And we are cooperating very closely with some single point of contacts for different countries. So we have, of course, a local representative for you. ProLeiT is not having an own office over there, but we are also checking to possibly after the let's say sanitary crisis that we have, to move some people into some of the countries, into our local offices, to have also a local expert always present. But in any case, as I said, we have the local presence and we have a 24/7 service, which is always available also for our local contacts. So a service is 100% guaranteed. So Mohammed, do we have a few minutes more that I can answer some of the other questions?
It's up to you. I'm okay.
Okay, I see
It's good to see a lot of questions. Good.
Exactly. I see a question in French. Comment est-ce qu'on le logiciel est-il payant? Yes, of course. So the question is if the software is has to be paid. Is it a software or is it a free software? I guess that you just need to engineer. No, it's a software package, because the software package comes with a very rich, let's say, content. It is a paid software. You're buying a license, yeah. So there's also subscription models depending on what you're selecting. So a standard license, and then you have either ProLeiT delivering you the setup of the system, yeah, or you can also reach out to one of the certified partners of ProLeiT, and they could do the same. Next one. You do this webinar anytime soon? I have my colleague. I guess the question is if we would want to repeat this webinar. So I'm not quite sure if we have already scheduled a repetition of this webinar, but if anybody is interested, reach out to us. So we have a strong sales organization that can, of course, do also more applied sessions with you. If you are having a project that you are looking at and where you say, hey, could this fit for me? Is this something where I can use, or what would be the benefit if I would migrate my current system to it? Just reach out to us and we can make a one-to-one session and go really detailed in every question. I'm not quite sure, Mohammed, possibly this session is also shared afterwards, the recording of the session?
Yeah, exactly. All the documents will be shared after the webinar. Just also to add for you, Access, that if you are looking for more details, more information, and you are looking really to discuss in details, maybe you need, as Axel said, one-to-one discussion. You can scan, you have already in front of you, I'm sharing my screen. There is a QR code, you can scan this one. It will take you to one page. You can fill your requirement, leave your contact details, and we will reach to you. And as well, I shared already in the chat box, there is a link for the same, so you can use easier to scan it by your mobile camera as a QR code, or you can go the through link. So for sure, we will contact you. Please leave your contact details and we'll come back to you, discussing details.
Great. So
Yes,
the last two questions that I see before we can close, I think, is can we connect ProLeiT with Cytek SCADA servers? So actually the system is coming with a built-in visualization. But of course, if you are looking into, let's say, a mixed type system, for example, just using the ProLeiT independent batch engine, this could work with Cytek SCADA servers. Or if you're looking for a migration plan, we can work on this one. I think, again, this is one of the areas where I would say, let's get into a more detailed discussion, what exactly you want to do, and then we can show you all the possibilities. Last one, is this system suitable for discrete production? Yes, it is, I think. So it depends, again, what you exactly want to do in discrete production. When we're looking to only supervising a packaging line or something like this, that's definitely working. In general, it's working for batch-wise, for continuous, and also for discrete production. So normally no limitation. But again, I would say for the final estimation, if it is really fitting for a process, it would be best to discuss on the process itself. But I would be surprised if we would need to say, no, this is not fitting, because typically whatever we have in the consumer packaged goods industries, we are addressing with the system. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you very much. So feel really free to reach out to us. We are there to give you more information. We are happy to give you more information, and just contact either your Schneider local sales contact, or reach out to the panelists, where you should have the email addresses shortly in the presentation. and then we can take it to the next step. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Axel. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
So thank you
also
all.
from my side, and also the greetings back to Gimak.
Yeah, sure. So thank you all. Thanks so much for joining us today and participating to the Food and Bev ProLeiT Schneider Electric Innovation Talk today. Now to stay connected with us and learn more about the EcoStruxure for Food and Bev. And if you are looking for discuss in details, one-to-one discussion for ProLeiT solution or Schneider solution overall, please reach to us through the link we shared already or the QR code you are having in the case. You will share your all contact details and we will come back to you and we will start to connect with you. Let's think together how we can help you to face the current challenges today and become more agile, more resilient. Presentation documents and on-demand session will be shared by email to all participants today. Thank you again so much for joining us today. See you soon and keep safe. Thanks a lot.